Okay. Disney's Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, The Big Cheese Golden Book. Chip 'n Dale are the Rescue Rangers. Okay, wait. Chip 'n Dale and the Rescue Rangers were taking an overnight train ride to the World Cheese Festival. The train was very crowded. Chip and Dale had never seen so many mice in one place at the same time. Inside the train, Chip and Dale's friend Gadget held up a shiny metal tool. "I'm going to show this drill that I made at the festival," Gadget said. "It's for putting holes in Swiss cheese." "Time to practice for the yodeling contest," said Monterey Jack, opening his mouth wide. "Yodel-hee-hoo!" None of them noticed the shy lizard who stared at Gadget's Swiss cheese drill and then slinked away. Beside the Rescue Rangers sat a mouse with his nose buried in a book. "The Encyclopedia of Cheese, Volume 1. Dale nudged Chip. "Can you imagine reading a book like that?" he whispered loudly. "This is a most interesting book," the mouse said. "I wrote it. I'm Professor Grivenguda, and I'm going to win the biggest cheese in the world contest." He handed the book to Chip. "Why don't you read this? If you like it, I'll send you the other 19 volumes. Chip swallowed hard and smiled. "Would you like to see the cheese I am entering in the contest?" Professor Gouda continued. The Rescue Rangers followed the professor to the last car of the train. It was bright pink on the outside, and on the inside it was filled with Professor Gouda's cheese, a 2,000-pound white cheddar. "Wow," said Gadget. "It is rather special, isn't it?" said the professor, beaming. "What a cheese," said Dale as they went back to their seats. "What a smell," said Chip, sniffing the air. "It isn't that Happy Tom cat food," said all the Rangers at once, following their noses. The Rescue Rangers soon came to a closed door of the train compartment. Though the frosted glass, they could see the shape of their arch enemy, Fat Cat. "What is he doing here?" said Dale. I don't know, but I wish we could hear what he's saying," said Chip. Inside the compartment, Fat Cat was talking to his evil crew. "Tonight we will steal Professor Gouda's cheese and disguise it so that nobody will recognize it," he said. "Then we'll win first prize for the biggest cheese in the world. In the world." "What's the prize?" asked a lizard. "It's a free trip to Switzerland," said Fat Cat, grinning wickedly. "I deserve a nice vacation, don't you think, my little helpers?" "Yes, boss," they all said at the same time. "We've got to find out what Fat Cat is up to," Chip told Dale. "I don't trust him as far as I can throw him." "And that's not very far," said Dale. That night, the Rescue Rangers stalked out Fat Cat's train compartment, waiting to see what he would do next. But nothing happened. Finally, they went to bed. At dawn, Professor Gouda shook Chip and Dale awake. "My cheese," he wailed, "it's gone." Then they all raced to the rear of the train. Sure enough, the pink train car full of cheese was gone. "Fat Cat," said Chip and Dale. They ran on to Fat Cat's compartment, but it was empty. Gadget screamed, "My Swiss cheese drill is gone." "There must be some connection," said Chip. "I think the connection is a big nasty cat," said Dale. "Zipper," called Chip. "Find Fat Cat." The little fly could find anything and fast. Zipper disappeared and returned almost instantly, pointing south. As the train pulled into a station, Dale spotted a little handcar. "We can use it to find Fat Cat," he said. Chip slipped on a backpack, and the chipmunks scrambled onto the handcar. They pumped the handle with all their might. Soon they saw the pink train car standing still. It was hooked up to a purple engine with the words "Fat Cat Express" painted on the side. Inside the train car, Chip and Dale could see Fat Cat grinning as he watched out one of his rats use Gadget's drill on Professor Gooder's cheese. "That sneaky feline," said Chip. "He thinks he can disguise the cheddar as a Swiss cheese. He'll never get away with this." "What are we going to do?" asked Dale. "I have a plan," said Chip. Meanwhile, the train full of mice had arrived at the World Cheese Festival. Professor Gooder was very worried about his cheese. Gadget and Monterey Jack tried to cheer him up. Now, Professor," said Monterey Jack. "Chip and Dale will find your cheese. They never mess up. Well, almost never." "Why don't we look around at the festival?" said Gadget. "They'll be here soon." "I hope so," said Professor Gooder miserably. Gadget and Professor Gooder watched a big group of mice competing in mozzarella cheese pull. Monterey Jack won first prize in the yodeling contest, but there was still no sign of the pink train car. "It's almost time for the judging," said Professor Gooder, shaking his head. Meanwhile, on the purple train, Chip and Dale climbed up near the engine and saw their old friend Sewer Owl reading an old copy of Swamp Life magazine. Sewer Owl was always reading. "Hi there," said Chip. "What?" asked the alligator, so surprised that he fell off his motorman's chair. "Sewer Owl," said Chip, talking fast. "Let's make a deal. If you help us get Fat Cat and his crew off the train, I'll give you this wonderful book." From his backpack, he pulled the first volume of the Encyclopedia of Cheese. "Not only that," said Chip, "there are 19 more volumes in this set. I'll give you all of them." "What a deal," said Sewer Owl. Their friend Hope hopped off the train and called to Fat Cat. "Hey, Cat, come down here. I think I found a whole case of tuna fish." "Really?" said Fat Cat. He and his mangy crew jumped down off the train. Chip and Dale started the engine, and the train rolled away, leaving Fat Cat shaking his fist beside the railroad track. Back at the festival, Professor Gooder watched sadly as a medium-sized Limburger was about to be named the biggest cheese in the world. "If only my cheese were here," he said with a sigh. All of a sudden, Professor Gooder heard, "Woo woo!" "It's the train," he said. He shouted. He grabbed the two of the judges and explained what had happened to his cheese. "Come with me," he said. The judges followed him to the train. "What a cheese," said one. "You win the first prize," said another. "Hooray!" cried Professor Gooder and the Rescue Rangers. A few weeks later, the Rescue Rangers struggled to keep up with Professor Gooder as he scrambled up a huge snowy mountain. It sure was nice of you to take us with you to Switzerland," shouted Chip. "I'd never have won the free trip if it weren't for you," said Professor Gooder. "You Rescue Rangers are wonderful. Cheese is cheese. It was nothing," said Dale.